Okay, we'll give that just a moment to catch up. Whew. Okay, there we go. So, welcome back to the stream. I'm finishing up some more of the heavy weapons guy eating his sandwich cartoon. I did a little bit more work on this the other day while I was recovering. I was going to do a stream yesterday. I was not feeling good. I've not been sleeping well. And I think it has to do with the fact that my anxiety has been out of control. So I haven't been able to really relax or do a lot of stuff that I normally would. Came across some exercises yesterday that helped out some. I still slept poorly, but I didn't feel tired. So maybe it's the end of this, but I have a feeling it has to do with the fact that I've been kind of on the edge for the last several months, on and off, and it's just kind of stuck. So I'm trying to get rid of that. I've got to do some more exercise. Because there's a few other ideas that I came across, but I couldn't do them just because yesterday it was getting late and I was not feeling good. So I will probably do some more stuff today, but I made sure to go out and do some of the basics, get some sunshine. I got a little exercise. I need to get some more in a little while, but I will worry about that after I do my stream. So the section of the toon that I finished up yesterday, which I'll show off in just a moment, is I finished off the heavy's first bite. So this is him gearing up for it. This is him doing his second bite on the sandwich. And this one is a little tricky. Let's see, I need to stretch this up just a little bit. There you go. You see that that raise and then drop right there? That's what we want. So that means I got to adjust the position of his chin here because the bottom area isn't going to dip like that, but we'll see. So unfortunately, got some more iffy news on life here at home. Found out my father has been out of one of his medications for a week and has not been refilled by the oncologist. And I hear she's out on vacation. I don't know why we keep having the luck we do when it comes to this stuff, but we need to get him a new oncologist. I'm sad that the one we tried to get him a referral to basically said no by not saying anything. But that's how the dice rolls. Not a fan of stuff like that. If we'd been told no, or I'm sorry, we can't take you right now, that would be okay. Because then, at the very least, you know, you're being acknowledged. So let's see, how's this looking now? It's looking better. But even though I'm still a little sad that the toon has not. I was hoping that the algorithm would pick up my last Dungeons and Debt toon, and it didn't do that this time. I don't know Why? I guess it's just also luck of the dice. But on the bright side, it's done very well on Newgrounds. I haven't put out a toon and have it earn 3.2 thousand views in a while, especially just a couple days. How much did the last toon get? The last toon I did was almost 4K in views, but it was only front page for a few days, and it's brand new. This one is it's only about 700 views away, so that's good to know. So here is the full animation that I have for the heavy right now. I've got my little establishing shot. This, once I finish up some more of this will be the first 7 seconds of this get uploaded to my Patreon account. So we've got our first bite. So the second bite, you can see when he bites into it, he's just kind of grazing the front of it there. I need to have a deeper bite. But it's looking pretty good. So I need to do an extra bite frame for this. Because when he bites down, this is going to be a stronger bite, because the first bite he bites into it, you can see something's wrong. And then he looks down at it. So the second bite, he's going to bite down on it, and then he's going to tug on the meat a little bit. So I'll have some stretching animation for that. And that's when everything is supposed to... see, I was going to do 3 bites with him. I was going to do bite 1, I was going to do bite 2, and then bite 3. And bite 1 was going to be a normal bite. Bite 2 was going to be harder, with some struggling and him stretching out the meat. And then the third bite was going to be him biting as hard as he can. And I thought about that and realized it's probably a good idea to just keep it at 2 bites for right now. And I've got to also add in a little bit of animation here. So I got to add the the eyes are big and they need to sparkle. Then I need to have a tongue doing something. Just because I'm tapping into the old Newgrounds style humor. So it's nice that it's starting to come together and be a little bit more like a real toon. The bad news is I won't be once I reach a certain point, and I'm probably going to reach that point in today's stream. I won't continue streaming this toon because this is a short toon. It's probably going to be maybe 25 seconds. Kitty, you're a pest. Yeah, you're a pest. Come on, stop it. Got the cat on my lap. She's very aggressively grooming herself. You're being a pest, kitty. Come on. So, this is kind of a one joke stretched out for a few, like 10 seconds of anticipation type of a short. So it's not going to be as animation intense as the last Dungeons and Debt toon I did, which also was not very animation intensive, but it had some moments where I had to do a little bit more work into certain things than I was expecting. Because Kitty, get your claws out of my leg. Damn it. Get those claws out of my leg. Uh, I don't want kitty claws in my leg. She's a Claude with her claws, but uh, I'm debating what to do with this toon after I finish up with it, because I'm going to finish up with this one probably quick. Um, and then the only other thing I've got on the table is I'm finishing up the commercial, which is there's only a little bit left of it to animate, and then I got to put in the audio effects, which is really cool. I like how it's come out. Unfortunately, my client has yet to give me any music that he wants with it, so I may just see about finding some music myself and see if he likes it. But that's okay. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So this will be the first Toon Fortress toon I've done in a year. I always felt bad that I couldn't get the one toon that I was going to do where it's the Scoot running around all the different servers and she's the only player and all the other players are gone because they've all been quarantined. And I thought I was being clever, and then unfortunately for me, we had this was about the time we had the surge of all the damn aimbots in the TF2 world. And then it stopped being funny. And I just kind of got bitter about that. That was the first toon I was doing where I was trying to animate more on 3 frames instead of 2s and 1s. So let's see. What else do we have to do here? Because that's looking good. That's looking good. I can cannibalize his eye. I like it when I can cannibalize some of these effects. These graphics. It saves a few moments of time. And I always like to save a few moments, because if you save that few moments, then you can use that time that you've saved on something else for a little bit. So I'm plotting out next year's itinerary of toons. I've got sneeze. Excuse me, Gesundheit. Sorry about that. Ugh. Dust. So I've got my itinerary for toons next year. Since Dungeons and Debt has done so well on Newgrounds, I might do a 4th toon for next year, because I've got 3 planned. I've got 2, and 2 of them are actually, I guess, plotted out on paper. They're not written as scripts per se, because there's no dialogue and there's a certain amount of randomness I put in where I don't storyboard anything. I just let a random idea happen. But I might do 4 toons next year instead of 3, like I was talking about, just because it's done as well as it's done on Newgrounds. I mean, I've actually gained it's 3,250 views right now, which is really good. But the other thing that's nice is I've snagged a good, I want to say 35 subs on Newgrounds. I was not expecting that. I guess I haven't been putting out the right type of work. I need to animating the. I need to remember. I gotta start linking my streams on social media. And then I also have to remember to leave a pinned comment. There we go. Gotta do that, gotta do that. I gotta keep remembering this stuff, because I always get like an extra view. And since it's strange, it sounds like YouTube is changing the rules of the game again. It used to be views, or it used to be likes for views and things like that. Now they want a certain amount of subs to promote you or something. I don't know. Oh, come on. There. I gotta remember this stuff. But it's been a little bit of a mixed day. My folks are out of town just for a little bit longer. So it sounds like my father's cardiologist appointment went really well, which I'm happy. His EKG looked good. The only downside to all that stuff is still we have to get the medication that the oncologist did not refill. We've got to get that put in. And then after that, we've got to get a new oncologist. And so there are all of 2 oncologists locally where I live, and one of them, it looks like, has declined our business. I don't know if he would change his mind after my father gets government health care in November. It would be nice if they would call us up and say, I'm sorry, we can't take you, we're overrun, or whatnot. But I guess that's just not in the cards. So he's off his chemo again, which unfortunately his white blood cell count dipped, which is always unfortunate because that means if it dips too low, he will get a fever. And if he gets a fever, he has to go back to the hospital. And we've been able to keep him out of the ER for about a month now. I'd like to try a little longer. You know, I kind of like this one frame as it is. I think it might be better if I stop being lazy and just redo his head. One more there, and then adjust his body. Because I've got a few frames here I can recycle just a little bit. So because he's leaning forward into it, then I have to drag his body over and do the lazy man's animation. Let's go to his head frame and adjust that slightly. Actually, I don't need to adjust it. I think that's lined up about right. Good. Okay, and then we just do this. Yes, save. Oh, damn it. I don't want to close my video. Thank you. Okay, that's looking good. So then I just drag it over an additional bit like that. So yes, this is the lazy man's animation, where you just do a slight skew of an existing frame to imitate motion. There we go. You can see how his body's moving like that. That's about what I wanted. The only difference is I want this to go back here. So this went down, so I need to pull it up just slightly. because the first frame was meant to be. Oops, I don't want to do that. The first frame was meant to be a smaller bite, so. So I will have to adjust this a little bit more. And let's see. So I've got to line up that meat over here. So, hey Mitchell. Glad to see you can make it. I'm just getting through kind of a wonky day. We're just trying to get my father's medication sorted out because the oncologist didn't refill up one of his pills. Yeah, it's irritating, and I've been sleeping like crap for a week. And by that I mean my sleep level has been very poor. And I think I figured out what it was the other night because I did there were some exercises I did which actually helped out a fair amount. The downside is it only helped out, it didn't solve the issue. Because some of the issue is I guess I got to go out and get more exercise and do a handful of other things so I can start sleeping normally again. Which is a pain in the ass because I haven't been sleeping well for the past few months. It's been on and off, and it's most likely due to all the stress because for a while it's every week was something else. So my anxiety has just kind of been stuck in anxious mode. And the other day I did something that helped out a lot. I got rid of some of the stress, and I will have to do some more of that exercise later on today. But I'm happy to at least be able to animate some because I was so out of it yesterday. I did like a dinky amount of animation. Did some exercises which helped out some, and went to bed and got like a little bit of crap sleep. But I didn't have the usual restless issues that I normally do. So I tried to grab a nap earlier today to make up for the sleep I didn't get, and I didn't really get much of anything out of that. So it's just a lot of stuff all at once. Yep. Okay, that's what I want. So step one, got to have the one frame where he bites onto it, and then I got to stretch it out just a little bit. Oh, what sleep age are you getting into? Ah, I have trouble getting there because I've been having extreme insomnia, but uh, I was I was able to relax some last night, which was very nice. Because that's something I have not been able to really do for a while. My relaxing abilities kind of vanished. And so everything was just restless, and then I would just dip in and out of sleep, and I wouldn't feel like I slept at all. I think my folks have some cannabis oil. I might try that. See if that helps a little bit. Outside of all the other exercises and things I'm doing. So, yeah, ever since everything has kind of mellowed out, so I guess I've crashed a little bit in terms of being able to sleep properly. So the other thing I'm trying to do is go back to having a set schedule for sleep, which I know that's always been recommended. So I guess bedtime for me now is about 10:30. Okay. All right, there's the first bit of a stretch. So that's the second bite. Now I've got to pull his hands back because he's got to stretch out the back end of that steak also. Let's see, I believe this is the frame I want. Good. And I'm going to cannibalize. I'm going to recycle these frames because I need to get some more elongation in the stretch. So I need to drink some water real quick here too. Yes, I see you, cat. I've been finding myself very envious of the cats because they can lay down and sleep without any damn trouble. And that's not something I've been able to do for a long time. Let's see, I want the green one right there. That's the frame I want. I always feel bad when I recycle some of these frames too much, but so for right now, I'm just hoping to get through what's left of the craziness of the day. And I'm also going to recycle this frame right here. Because the more stretch I can get on the next bit, the better. Because it's supposed to be all nice and cartoony. So I'm just trying to be smarter with how I recycle stuff, I suppose. But I don't want to overdo it either. If I can avoid that. Okay. nice thing is I'm almost finished with this first shot, so I'm happy about that. Get out of here, brat cat. Cat's trying to get into what's I've got in the bag. I've got half of a blueberry muffin in the bag that I was going to eat later on tonight. And she found it. She's over there sniffing, trying to get into it. You know better, you little shit. You should be embarrassed, you brat. Well, she doesn't need this stuff. She's 15. She's 15 years old and she's an asshole. I don't know what happened, but over the last few months, she went from being pretty calm but mildly irritating at times to just being an asshole that keeps trying to trip everybody. She's tried to do it to me while I'm on the stairs. She's tried to trip my folks. That would be really bad to have her trip my father, being that his skeleton is not in very good condition anymore because of the cancer. So she's a jerk. Okay, I can get away with just doing this little bit right there. No, she doesn't need a muffin. That'll make her sick. Hell, switching the cat food. Gave her the Hershey squirts the other day. I had to clean that up. So she's not getting the cat food switched again because that was a horrible mess. And I know it's not the other one because the other one doesn't leave messes like that. And the other one can also aim inside the damn litter box. Whew. We had a cat for about 19 years or so. He was at least 20 when he died. He was a good boy. He was a big black cat. He was kind of neurotic. I suppose all cats are. Let's shift this to 2 and 3. All right, looking good. Yeah, he was a good cat. He used to beat up dogs. He was a big black cat. And when he wasn't doing that, he was chasing off other cats from our house when he was outside. double checking my emails, making sure I'm not getting any responses from. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This is going to have to be 2 frames. It's tradition. So this is 1 frame, and I'm going to stretch everything out an additional frame. So that means one end has to go back, and then his head has to go back. That's what I want. Because the idea with this is to just create it so he's going to stretch. So it's damn it, I hit the wrong button. Get out of here. It's to make it look like he's struggling to bite into that sandwich. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's on 3 is good. And that's going to have to be done separately. So that's lined up. Here we are. This needs to be adjusted. I was thinking about doing that. I kind of figure with how many people who look at animation on smaller screen sizes, the detail might not show up. So it might be better off just to leave the teeth outside. Oh no. Double checking some social media stuff, I'm finding out that they're doing a sequel to Keanu Reeves is doing a sequel to Constantine, which wasn't a bad film. But then when I see a certain screenwriter's name on there who is not very good, he's very hit or miss. I think he's a very milquetoast screenwriter. When I see he's coming back to write it, I lose a little bit of hope. I don't know what type of a sequel they're talking about doing, but hey, I do like Keanu Reeves. Well, everybody likes him. He's been having quite the second act to his career. Ugh, I tried watching some of that Hellboy remake that they tried. It was pretty damn awful. Nothing felt right. Felt like once something was introduced, they were done with it, and they sometimes, and then they never would show you any more of it, or they would introduce something just to introduce it, and then it wouldn't develop further. I didn't like what I saw of David Harbour as Hellboy, even though Ron Perlman is kind of a lunatic on social media. He was a damn good Hellboy. But I have a rule with movies, and that is anytime Mila Jovovich is one of the leads, it's going to be an awful movie, and I won't watch it. Some of that I learned from all those awful Resident Evil films she did. Some of it is just because of all those awful Resident Evil films she did. She's never really done a decent movie. There we go. Just that little tiny bit of a stretch. I didn't even bother watching the Hellboy remake. I also didn't bother watching the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City remake they did. I didn't like The Fifth Element. I liked the movies it was inspired by, but on its own, I thought it was a very weak movie. It was one of those films that was more excited to homage bigger, better movies than it was to be its own movie. I know some people said that if you read, the Europeans said that if you read the comics Morbius, or excuse me, not Morbius, Mobius, then it's more of an homage to Mobius than anything else. But I want to see a movie that has its own identity and isn't going to rely on what everyone else has done. I don't know how many movies like that we get anymore, because everything has to homage something else, and I kind of blame Family Guy for it. Because they were always big on doing those homages and references to other shows and movies for years, and then other movies started doing similar things where they would say, "Oh, it's a horror movie about a slasher, so we have to reference Jason or we have to reference Freddy," and it gets kind of irritating. Yeah, I didn't like The Fifth Element because it was inconsistent in its tone. Uh, I, I did like the one with Tim Allen that you're talking about. It was very well written, and it's always a shame that it was a shame that Alan Rickman died, because they were going to do a TV series. They wanted to go back because everybody liked Galaxy Quest so much that they waited a while, and you know it. If I remember correctly, it took a while for it to build up an audience. Because if I remember, it did okay in the theaters. It just took about 6 years after it came out for people to really get into it and appreciate it for what it was. And I'd heard that they were going to do a TV series of some kind. And then Alan Rickman died. And they said that they still want to do it, but they're not sure. He was such a good character in that movie. It was nice to get to see him do something lighter performance-wise, because everybody always remembers him as Hans Gruber, or the sheriff of Nottingham in that terrible Robin Hood film with Kevin Costner. Which, as awful as that movie was, he was the best thing about it. I think he knew what type of movie he was making. Okay. Okay, we've got our first stretch. It needs to be adjusted. So, it just looks like it's, extending here, not stretching per se. Well, Kevin Costner has, well, what is it? He has several appliances to make sure he still has his hair. And I get it, it's a Hollywood actor thing. You consider how many actors in their careers have worn hair pieces. It's a little bit harder to find the ones who didn't actually go bald than it is the ones who were wearing hair pieces for all of, if not most of their career. And John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Humphrey Bogart, of course Sean Connery as well. Okay, I gotta adjust this slightly because I need a little bit of a groove there. Okay, this needs to go from wide, like so, to thin. Here we are. Well, at least Bruce Willis never made Waterworld. There we go. Almost there. I just got to correct this. This is shifting over just a little too much. And then, oh, come on, you. Come on, don't give me any grief. Thank you. Yeah, you can see this dips just a little too much over here. Well, Waterworld, the thing about Waterworld, outside of the fact that they just tried to make it Mad Max in the ocean, was that it was essentially just a B movie, but they gave it the budget of an A movie. Okay. Got to dip his head back a little bit. So that means this will stretch out just a little bit further. No, it didn't take 7 years to make. It took 20 years to make a profit. No, it took a long time to make. That's for sure. Most movies will take about 12 to 16 weeks. That one took like 3 months of shooting. That is a lot of shooting for a movie, especially a B movie. And then they had to blow up that oil tanker. And that was a shit ton of money. And then they had all kinds of other stuff and effects because they had to do computer graphics for certain things. And that was the movie that was just starting to push that stuff out. 200 days? I said 3 months. 3 months is about 90 days. Yeah, Jesus. That's like a year's worth of shooting. Good God. What a clusterfuck. I know the original director bailed, and Costner had to finish it. Yeah, something about these the old movies in the 90s. There were two major stinkers that were just so fucking weird. And it made no sense for them to have been made in the first place. There was The Island of Dr. Moreau, which the original director was fired from that. I forget why. Because he was an indie director, and he actually just came out. He retired from doing movies and started doing documentaries for like 20 years. And then he just did one with Nicolas Cage, The Color of Space, the old the H.P. Lovecraft story, which got very good reviews. I know the Lovecraft audience loved it. But yeah, he got screwed, and then they had to get another director to do it. It's a fucking mess. I never saw the Color of Space. I need to get around to it. I've seen a version of the movie. So The Color of Space is the second time that story has been adapted. The first time they adapted it was with Boris Karloff in the 1960s, and it was a very bad one. And they gave it a 1960s title. It's a really bad title. The title is Die Monster Die. And the problem is there's no actual monster in there outside of like Karloff for the climax of the movie. Or I should say Karloff's stunt double, because he was, what was it? He was 70. He was in his 70s at the time, and his back was destroyed, so he was in a wheelchair for 80% of the movie because he destroyed his back filming the original Frankenstein. And he had several surgeries to fix the damage, and it never did. So by the time he was like mid-50s, he was starting to become physically limited in some of what he could do. But yeah, I should watch The Color of Space one of these days. So right now, I'm just going to finish the heavy chewing on this and getting a little bit angry while he's chewing on it. After a little bit of a while, and then he stops. And then his cheeks swell up. And then that will be where almost be where I stop the toon. I will do one more shot after the cheeks swell up. Because that essentially would be like 30% of the toon. Because I wanted to do this, I wanted to have a chunk of it just be this first shot. And just the first shot by itself. Because after that, oh, come on you. After that, I have to have the heavy, his cheeks swell up, and then his face fills with panic. So I have to do a close-up of his face. And then that's like 1/3 of the toon already done. So I don't think this toon is going to be officially released until December. Or not December, November. Because once I get this finished up, I have to do the Halloween toon. The Halloween toon will take more time. But I've got a little bit of time to do it because it doesn't have any dialogue. Doesn't have too much in the way of reactions. It's just a single setting horror short. There's only really a character in it that I have to design, even though I need to do the other character because I've got a side character that pops up at the very end. Save. And in about 15 minutes, I have to go kick the dogs out. Because they have to go outside, because they're stinkers. Oh, this, I didn't storyboard this. I didn't storyboard the last one. I don't always storyboard. I'm trying to be a little bit better about that. There are moments in my toons that I will storyboard, though. Okay, let's take a look and see how this works. Okay. That's kind of working. I wonder what happens if I do this. This is me trying to do a little bit of fast motion in between. Oh, one moment. This is my folks checking in. Be right back. getting the best of news. And I should pull this frame over here, but yeah. Well, the news isn't very good because it's the second fuck up that they've done regarding my father's kidneys. So there's a medication that he's supposed to be on that the oncologist forgot to fill up. And he's been off of it cold turkey. Well, you can't go cold turkey on this medication. It will damage your kidneys, and his kidneys are already damaged enough as it is. God, this is so freaking infuriating. I swear to God, every month, the last 2 months, all the stuff that this hospital has done is, it's turning into a damn lawsuit at this point. I mean, this is ridiculous. Ugh. Oh, how about now? Jeez, I just can't win today, I see. Ugh. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, the news we just got, my folks were able to sort it out with the pharmacist down there at the hospital. Thank God somebody's doing their job over there. So the medication that my father's on, it's a steroid that he has to be on because it's, well, he just has to be on it. I don't know why, but that's part of his medication. It's for the type of cancer he's on. You got to be on this. Well, if you go off of it cold turkey, it creates a shock to your system, and can also damage your kidneys. Now his kidneys are already working at about 50% as is. So the frickin' oncologist forgot to fill it up, or one of her staff lost the paperwork or something. Well, that'll kill my father. So we'll just have to document all of this stuff. Because I think at some point this coming year, probably springtime with how things are going, we probably are going to have to go talk to a lawyer about this, because this is terrifying, the amount of fuck-ups that have happened from the hospital. So I don't know what, I don't even know what to say to this right now. I'm angry, but I'm not as angry as I was the first few times that these shenanigans were going on. But yeah, this is, I swear to God, this is starting to turn into a frickin' lawsuit of some kind. Because this is less negligence. And I don't quite know what to do about some of this shit right now, other than, well, just all I can do right now is relax, because there's nothing I can do at the moment. But we're gonna have to talk to our local nurses, who are the local nurses are great. They're great on the paperwork. They keep us up to date on everything. If they even think there's something we want, they do their best to get it for us. So I'm going to have to ask for a lab to include his kidneys because of what just happened. Because now we need to see what the hell's going on there. Have have has he been damaged? But this is such a joke. I swear to God. I can't believe the amount of fuck ups. So I don't know. Jesus, this is gonna make winter real rough. But we'll see. I. This is just so goddamn embarrassing. That's some of what it is. Because these are supposed to be the professionals, and I don't even know how to respond to some of this stuff. Because how clueless do you have to be to not fill up a prescription like that? Because, geez, when he went to have his stent put in, they left him without water for 24 hours because he had a nothing in his mouth order. But because he has kidney disease, you need to have water. Definitely documents extra allows pretty much everything that might cost you more money. A lawsuit requires monetary damages. Well, in a medical lawsuit is a different type of damage from what tiny bit I understand. But even so, god damn, this is an embarrassment. And I also know that there's a catch-22 if you sue a hospital. That is, other hospitals will be less inclined to take you down the road if you have problems. So I gotta wonder, did my family do something to piss somebody off upstairs or what? Because I don't have the words for this anymore. I don't want to be the guy that does the YouTube storytime video to say, here's a collection of the fuck-ups that this hospital has done to my father. What are my chances for a lawsuit? What do you think, YouTube? I don't want to be the guy that does that. But at this point, it's starting to pile up so damn much. It's like a cartoon or a Lifetime movie. And I don't even know how you fuck up some of this stuff because I don't work in the medical field. My mother is kind of been saying that because my father's terminal, they don't care. Doesn't matter, he's going to die anyways. And that is not an answer I'm willing to accept. I'm just thankful we don't have to deal with Canadian healthcare right now. Because I hear for people who have terminal conditions, they just want them to commit suicide now. And I've been reading more articles about that popping up. I'm even seeing the Canadian VA saying that to the soldiers. Yeah, we're sorry you have PTSD. That's a real problem. Have you thought about committing suicide? I'll have to take a look at that. Leukemia Society just sent me something. Yeah, I've still got to get my father to sign up for that. The idea, is that they provide a little bit of help and support. And one of the local churches, even though we don't attend there, they've donated some money to us as well, which is always very appreciated. damn, this is. I don't. I need. I should have more words for a situation like this than clusterfuck. But damn, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, I will most. I'll ask around to a few folks, get their take on it, because outside of the fact that this is absolutely outrageous, I don't know. Oops, should fix that while I'm over here. I don't know how people who aren't in this position looking in would have to say. But yeah, this feels like negligence at this point. And we've got 2 examples of it already. Well, for right now we have to. The idea was we were going to try and get a local oncologist. Get the guy who's only 50 miles away from us. And just work with him as best we can. But since it looks like he is declining to answer, that's a no. So that leaves the one other oncologist, who's 75 miles away. I've heard both are very good oncologists. It's just who's going to be willing to take my father is all that matters. So first we got to get that sorted out. Then we have to start looking at how to deal with this hospital, because it's infuriating seeing what's happening, not being able to do a damn thing about it. Oh, and if my screen is changing color slightly, it has to do with the fact that I have flux on. Flux eliminates blue light on your computer by adding red light, so that means you can work on the computer a little bit longer, and it won't keep you up at night. So it looks like it's probably doing some of that. I'm trying to be a little bit more protective of my sleep pattern. Do a little bit more lazy animation. 1, 2. There we go. That's why it's not working. This needs to be pushed back just a little bit. I was worried that that's what I was doing wrong, but I wasn't even thinking about it because I'm ranting about the damn hospital again. Okay. Save that. Okay. Okay, you, come on. Yeah, I've been tempted to get some computer glasses myself, but I'm kind of just sticking to what I've got right now, easing off the spending just a little bit. My problem is, okay, kitty, get off. You're being a pest. That's one of the problems. The only problem is the timeline color on this is, unfortunately, it's a dark color. It's very obnoxious. And that's one of the things that flux makes a little harder to see. But I am hoping for right now to just get this last little bit sorted out, because he's just got to finish chewing on this and then he's set. Because I have a few frames of him just tugging on it. Very good. I still have yet to decide what kind of a background I want to do for this. I should sort that out. I don't know, part of my theory is that this is a yeah, I should do that on this. Well, I should do that for Flash. Well, Adobe Animate. Oh, might help if I copied over the correct frames. Okay, we'll take a look and see how everything is coming together. Oh, there we go. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, now I can see everything. Take a look at this one more time. I need to make sure I save this. since this is a YouTube short, I have to be a little careful how I do use my time now, because this is 7 seconds of animation right here. Damn. Yeah, I would have him stretch it out more. It might raise some questions about the joke when it happens. But yeah, when the reveal of the joke comes up, if I have him bite down any harder and do stuff like that, that might be a little much. So, okay. This will be the stopping point here. So the last bit I'm gonna do here is his cheeks swell up. So let's see, right there. So because I have to put in a few new frames, I will just toss in these old frames. Because his cheeks need to swell up and then his eyes have to shrink because he's horrified. And then I can do those, and then on my own I will do a very slow reveal. And that'll kind of be the fun part when I get to do the reveal, because I've been going through how to do that in the back of my head for the last 4 days, looking for ways to make something as creepily uncomfortable as I can. It's supposed to be a bizarre and weird moment, which I'm very proud of. But yeah, I was contemplating doing a secondary stretch where he tugs on it further. But unfortunately, with this being a YouTube short, I normally do. I like to do it manually. The reason I like to do it manually is I found when I do it like that, I can catch mistakes on the way. Because sometimes I will catch a mistake, like there's a line that is too thick and shouldn't be there. Or, whoa. Thank you. So let's see, we want it right about there. But it's the moment in question is going to be surreal and weird, of which I'm very proud of. I hear pugs barking in the background. Unfortunately for them, barking season is almost over. Yeah, I hear that fat boy out there barking. That's my mom's pug. He's a big baby. He's kind of worthless. Doesn't do a lot of tricks. Doesn't do a lot of stuff. He's a big fat lazy dog. My father says it's because he was the only male in the litter, and his sisters used to beat him up. I think he's just a wiener. Oh no, they're gonna have. The thing is, because of how cold it gets during the winter time here, they're gonna have to be inside. It's their fur coats are probably made to go down to about 50 degree 55 degrees or so before they might have some problems. But it gets down to below 20 here, and we don't. My folks don't want pugsicles because unfortunately that's how you get pugsicles if you leave them outside, and we can't do that. Yeah, right. I'm almost up to 3.3k on Newgrounds. Let's take a look. So this because Kitty, you are a pest. I don't need you sitting on me every moment of the day. I can't keep calling the dogs a wiener because she's one too. Yeah, well, Ben and Jerry are assholes. They're lunatics. I don't understand why everybody had to get political all those years ago and say if you don't support everything I believe in, don't use my product. I'm tired of it though. Okay, so we want this. They're worse than Ron Perlman, I think. But they're not much worse than him. They're the same type of crazy person that's out there that thinks that they get to control what other people purchase and things like that. I get tired of that shit so quick. Just let people be people, and if they're assholes, that's not it's not your fault if someone's an asshole. And but everything just got crazy. I blame the goddamn communists for pushing a lot of this shit. Because it's a form of control. And from what I've seen, the commies, the weirdo progressives, they like that control. No, I don't like any of that shit. I let people be people. Banks didn't get politically active until it was convenient for them this last time around. And ever since Occupy Wall Street, I swear to God, all these corporations took one look at that and said, okay, we don't want people, because we want them to leave us alone, we'll just turn them on each other. And then that's when we got all the bullshit humanities courses increasing, where they have to teach you the importance of Latino poetry, and that's now a requirement for you to get your degree, even if you're just getting a degree in mathematics and you're never going to learn this again. It's very strange. It looks like a scam to me half the time, but I was seeing some of this crap pop up when I went back to college 10 years ago and got my second degree. And it was pretty simple. It was in order for students to transfer to the big UCs that they wanted to, they had to take these classes. These classes aren't really important. They don't offer anything engaging. It's very sad. Okay, got to adjust this frame over here. It's got to look like it's puffing out a little bit more, because the angle it's at right there, it doesn't quite look like it's puffing out. But yeah, I'm pretty much convinced, because I saw some of this shit in person, that they are stripping away individuality amongst the students with this crap. Because I watched about half a class one time freak out over the teacher for saying everything was up for criticism. And this was a film class. It's all a joke. And I wish we didn't have to deal with this nonsense. You know, there's more important stuff out there that we could be dealing with, but whatever all this crap has been, I think it's coming to an end finally. The pendulum is swinging the other way. But the problem is, in these situations, the pendulum always goes too far in the other direction. And that's just as bad. We don't want any of that shit. So I don't know. I just hope it all fades away. Okay, 1, 2. Let's see, I think I'm just gonna shift this over. So everything has swollen up, and now it just needs to shrink a little bit. I don't know, man. The problem with a swinging pendulum is it never stops, and as far as it goes one way, it's going to go just as far the other way. And the idea is to keep that from happening, if possible. But yeah, I think we're coming to the end of this. But even though we're coming to the end of it, it doesn't mean it's going to happen next year. It doesn't mean it's going to happen the year after. I think it's still going to take a few more years. And even then, I don't know what kind of a damage it will cause long term. I don't know, maybe I'm being an optimist. Let's see. That's close enough. But yeah, there's been a lot of damage that's been done. And I wish I could just blame one side for it. Because if it's only one side doing it, then the solution's easy. But it's not one side doing it. It is, unfortunately, both sides doing it. And as a result, the middle between the two has been affected pretty strongly. And I don't like that either. Because the middle is always supposed to be between the issues. And I blame the left for some of this shit a lot more than I do the right now. Because when all this crap started, what was it, 2014 was when I remember first noticing it. And people were getting really weird online. And I was seeing that pop up in classrooms and things like that. It was being encouraged very much by the left at the time, because it lined up with a lot of their policies at the time. Whereas now we've got a culture of whoever's in charge, when their policy starts to fail, they double down twice as hard as they used to. And that's concerning, because that shows, it's not just because that shows no accountability. The concern is it means you don't know when to quit. And if something's failing, that's bad. And you need to pull the plug on it before damage ensues, and we're not seeing any of that anymore. almost done. Let me correct this. This deflates just a little bit. I think I need to add one more frame to this. It needs to expand, shrink, and slightly expand a little bit more. This if I do this right, this should create just a little bit more life to the toon, because that is very much what I'm trying to mimic as best as I can. Darn. Well, Do Not Enter has done almost 1.1k views on YouTube. It's I'm 30 views short. A little disappointed that I didn't get more likes this time, because I know it used to be the more likes you had, everything added up. If you got a certain amount of likes in a period of time, the algorithm would take a look at you and give you a chance to get some more. But yeah, I wanted 100 likes on the video. I'm up to 49, so I'm getting there. But I'm still experimenting. I'm trying to find out if, does that even, oh, whoa, that's too big. Does it even do likes even matter anymore on YouTube now? Because now they're trying to base growth more off subs. Because I got 3 subs off this latest toon, which is a little sad. I was hoping for, 7 or so, but more than 1 is always good. It's just from the way I'm looking at things, every 5 or so subs that I get is good growth. I mean, it's all good growth, but that means if, say, I post 2 toons over the course of a month and I get 10 subs, well, that's good. That keeps the algorithm. Yes, I do. I get very little interaction on Twitter because I don't post a lot there. I post on Instagram. I get very little interaction there because I don't post a lot on Instagram, but also each of these social media sites, they're all very different than each other, and I have yet to figure out how to use them properly. But yeah, I do Facebook, and I don't get any subs off Facebook, but I get a few extra views from time to time, and I get some extra views off Newgrounds once in a while. Sometimes people come from over there to my channel. I get a fair amount of views from Reddit, but you can never count on Reddit to do anything unless you are doing a reiteration of a joke that people like. Because for whatever reason, people like their nostalgia more than they like stuff that's new on Reddit, and I don't know if I can compete with that. Oh, Newgrounds is still around. Things have changed a little bit. Okay. Okay, right there. Right there is where everything has to change on the toon. I've got to have his mouth drop first. But I'm happy that Newgrounds is still around, even though it's nothing like it used to be 20 years ago. YouTube has destroyed the internet. Everything has been so homogenized to be essentially a variation of what YouTube's rules are. And to make matters worse, Facebook's mimics that as well. And that's why, even though I don't like Kiwi Farms, I'm kind of sad to see that they've been taken down because the internet, that means the internet is shrinking. And there was a time the internet was constantly growing, and then around 2005 or 2006 was when it first started to really start shrinking back some. And some of that had to do with the fact that the dot-com bubble burst finally. There was all that weird crap that they would have people work for stock that was essentially worthless, but they would pay people in stock that they would be told, okay, one of these days these shares will be worth $10, so you'll all be making this is hundreds of thousands of dollars, but not today. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. Kiwi Farms is, you can't get rid of Kiwi Farms that easy, and if what I'm hearing about the person they pissed off is true, then that's going to be egg on everybody's faces. Because it sounds like the individual that they have that they upset or doxed or whatever, because I don't know the full story. It sounds like there's a warrant for that person's arrest. At least there's a rumor going around about that the police have a warrant for this person. And it might be, and if the other rumors I've heard are true about this individual actually being a groomer, that's even worse. So, it sounds like the police want this person due to grooming of children. Oh, they did? Oh, that's even okay. Well, there you go. Well, then just let the police deal with it. As flawed as they are. Okay, let's take a look at his mouth. Okay. Got to do cartoon eyes. Well, that's disgusting. Oh, good God. Blech, that's horrible. They've got their own Discord and they're talking about it like it's. Blech. That is vile. Well, I'm just happy I'm not that person. Even though I know that person is gonna get all the freak shows that support that person will continue defending that person when the police catch up to them. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, well, Twitch is going to be in deep shit then if they get linked to this too. Because yeah, well, you can add that to Amazon's list of problems. I am laughing at somebody posted a clip of the Rings of Power. From episode 4, somebody posted it today, and it's apparently Galadriel over on the island of Numenor with somebody who's supposed to be a good guy, but it's apparently Sauron in disguise. I don't know. I was just laughing at what I was reading, and they've got everybody. All the Numenorians are angry that an elf is there, and they're out there chanting, "We will not be replaced by elves," and I burst out laughing. Because, one, I knew that wasn't a joke that somebody edited. It's still those fucking Hollywood freak shows who don't get it. You don't need to make everything about Trump. The more you do, the less interesting your work becomes overall. But the fact that they had the nerve to do that and thought it was a clever idea is just painful. Everybody's getting tired of this shit. And I don't think they even, either they don't care or they don't recognize it, that not everybody wants to watch something and have to be reminded how much Hollywood hates Donald Trump. There's other shit you can make fun of. Was it Chappelle was right when he said was this 2.5 years ago, they were asking him why he didn't make fun of Trump. And he was saying because Trump is bad for comedy, because everybody was doing it. It was the butt of the same joke that everybody was making, and everybody wanted to be treated special. So they were all making the same lame-ass joke about Trump and the MAGA crowd, and there's more shit out there you can make fun of. But that's all anybody wanted, and it's pretty fucking lame. When I hear shows that are gonna start doing stuff about that, or they're gonna say, "Oh, it's Trump. It's based on Trump," I stop watching. It's gonna say the guy was an obnoxious pain in the ass. I don't need to sit around and watch you bitch about it and get paid to do nothing. Because you're just making the same jokes and arguments you were making 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago. There's other interesting stuff going on. Okay, just finish off this frame. Yeah, because I hate to say it, Biden's a pretty big fuck up. I don't care how many people on Twitter are kissing his ass over a slight decrease in gas prices or just to upset the MAGA crowd. He's a fuck up. Yep. Well, I will probably extenuate the surprise and add a little bit more detail to the eyes, but not right now. Because once I finish this stuff, I gotta go do some stretching, get some more exercise, try and prep myself so I can get to sleep tonight. Because tomorrow I gotta get my folks from the airport, and then we gotta go stop by and get my father's medication. And then I guess I gotta start documenting some of that shit from that hospital more. Because I've got a 12-pound weight I do for arm curls and a few other things, and then once I finish that up, I'm gonna start doing I need to start working on my core, because I've been real lazy about that. I've been primarily just doing arm exercises and walking. And while that's good, because it's some of it's cardio, I need to start doing more. So I'm going to start doing some push-ups. And as much as I hate them, because I've never been very good at them, I need to start doing some squats, because I got to work on my core. Because I have a feeling that might actually help me get to sleep a little bit more. But I've also got to work on my neck, because I've got that forward neck posture that everybody doesn't want. Well, it interferes with your breathing at night, for one thing, and that's bad for me because I sit on a computer all the day. Well, not all day, but most of the day. So I got to do neck exercises as well. And okay. I've got one last correction here I'm going to do on the mouth. I don't like the bend right there. I think I'm going to stretch it out a little bit further. Because I love the joke I've got for this. It's one I've had sitting in the back of my head for a little while. But I never got around to it because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to do things, much less I was sifting through the end of some artist block. But I've also got some relaxation and exercises. There's a Chinese YouTuber I watch, and I've found a lot of his exercises really work. And unfortunately my body is probably messed up from years of eating crap and forward neck posture and other things, so I've been working on adjusting that the last year. I need to be a little more aggressive about it, I suppose. There we are. So I need to have a little bit more panic in his eye. So what I do to get that, unless I have to shrink the eye a little smaller. Yep, I hear puggies in the backyard woofing. I want to see if I can do it without the eyebrows, but I might end up having to do that. No, kitty. No, I don't want you sitting on me. You don't need to sit on me all the time. Let's see, we'll do this to increase the speed of his reaction. There we are. Phew, your breath is terrible, kitty. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. So here's the whole toon as it is currently. Hey, don't do that shit. Needs a little bit more detail in a few spots, but I'll deal with that later. So either way, that's it for the stream tonight. I'll probably be back streaming on Sunday. We'll see how things go. So have a good rest of the night, Mitchell. The mouth throughout frame is one too long. Well, maybe. What if we do this? Because I can speed it up, you know. Well, I will fight with you later. So either way, dude, have a good rest of the night.